sketchbooks are inherently personal, right? If someone sees them, all right, but if not, it's also okay. It's just an exploration of whatever is in the mind of the artist, in case me. I use my sketchbook mainly for developing ideas for my sculptures and drawings, to get a sense of what I'm gonna do for my sculptures. So it's very, very loose, just studies, yeah. I sketch everywhere and around, so this is like, I don't know, maybe 4 years old or something. I might skip a few pages here and there.
It's alright.
I usually draw with ballpoint pen, even though I have other examples here also. This was on the beach, doing from life, a few trees. So one of the processes I do, like, for example, here on these first page, I just do random poses, random. I just draw human beings, and if there's a pose that I like, I'll use it for a sculpture. And sometimes it's that one sketch that will bring me to make a sculpture. Sometimes I have to sketch the same thing several times because I'm not super comfortable with what's happening. For me, okay, I gotta find my own concept, my own path throughout my art life, and then illustrate it. The concept that I'm using, I'm trying to develop this idea of getting a visual library about the Iberian Peninsula before the Roman conquest. So everything pre-Christian and pre-Roman, even back to the Paleolithic. So it's very tens of thousands of years, but this is my first attempt at doing any illustration, so it came out terrible. It was for a cover of a band, my band actually, but I was trying to do inks, it came out horrible. I ended up on drawing on Procreate, yeah. It was the first time that I did a digital illustration. Even though most of my work is traditional, I'm absolutely in love with the digital medium, yeah. Right now I'm working a lot on digital sculpture also, which is fascinating. It's great, amazing. It takes the dirt away from my life, which I gotta say I really like it. And logistically it's super easy. I just can zoom in, zoom out. So yeah, just commissioned stuff that people asked, but then it never came to fruition. More studies of poses. Now this is from life actually, yeah. This was super fast cuts from life. Some mountains from life, using the colored pencil. Yeah, again, this is just searching for poses, but just not randomly. This is already thinking about a concept that I wanted to do for a show, and these are the explorations of what it could be. So this is the first, the last, and then there's a few in the middle.
What are those?
There's little things here. So the ballpoint, when you draw with a ballpoint pen, sometimes it gets a blob of paint. I just do this to clean up the paint. So these are the little figurines that I was going to use. It's going to be a big figure, a second bigger figure, a female figure, male figure, a few smaller females, and a few sketches of male figures also. I'm trying to find a pose and a hairstyle that will convey a person that's submitting to the main character. That's, yeah, the main. Yeah, to this main character. So this would be like the leader of the ceremonial, and these are its counterparts. They're helpers.
Can you tell the story?
So I don't know the story that well, because when you go back in history, especially, and this is more like Neolithic or Paleolithic. When you go to the Stone Age, there's only speculation. There's some archaeological findings. There's the Venus figurines. They're beautiful. I inspire on them a lot aesthetically, but we can only speculate on why it happened. There's speculation that it was a matriarchal society or egalitarian, at least hunter-gatherers. We know some information, and this is just me trying to imagine a world where this would be feasible, which is good because I can actually just do things freely. Whenever I travel, I try to go to some archaeological sites. Yeah, one thing that's clear, it's a lot of times these archaeological sites are on breathtakingly beautiful places, and that's always going to be an objective feeling. And you go there, and you can see, all right, this is why they put these places around, because there was a special location. Aesthetics were present in their lives for sure, yeah. And all the petroglyphs, the carvings on the walls, yeah, these guys, they had experience on drawing for sure. If you check out my Instagram, you're always going to see that I do my sculptures and I take them into the wild and photograph them. That's part of my process, and it's actually one of the best parts. I do the sculpture all good, perfect. I really enjoy the process, but then going into the woods and photographing is one of my favorite parts. Yeah, and just being there with the sculpture that I envision to be in nature. Yeah.
You teach?
I teach. Yeah, I teach drawing mostly. There's a little sculpture involved on the teaching, but it's mostly drawing. Art schools are not very methodical. My teachers weren't actually artists; they didn't even draw. So it was a little rough. But in the end, I ended up on studying abroad, and it was good. But so I learned one method that I really try to pass on to my students, and it's a method that's really well thought out. It's a mathematical process. Anyone can learn it. We call it the comparative method. There's 3 main methods right now. It's a comparative method, side size, and the Russian method. It's based on the method that people were developing since the Renaissance until the 19th century French Academy. And it almost got lost. Back in the 80s, it was almost forbidden to do anything figurative. And thankfully, illustrators and people that work on the movie industry, they kept this tradition alive, and they pass it on, and now it's booming again on the fine artists. So, I mean, I owe illustrators a lot of what I do right now. This knowledge passed through them, and it's one of the other reasons I'm happy to be here in THU and trying to bridge that gap between fine art and illustration, because there shouldn't be a gap. Yeah. I mean, my parents are architects, and I have lots of comic books at home. My father liked comic books. There was one specific comic book that really caught my attention. It was from Vincent Segreles, The Mercenaire. It was so beautiful. It was a comic book made just of paintings. I was drawn to drawing, and I started copying comic books. Spider-Man was my hero. And actually, it's funny, but copying Spider-Man gave me a good sense of the human form. To this day, it was a really good help. And just going to college was tougher, because in college, those things that I held closest to my heart, they were being neglected. It's like, okay, you like that stuff. That's not an adult thing. Yeah, forget about it. So mainstream art academies, they all think this way. Yeah, there's a specific way of thinking, and if you think outside the box, all right, you have to be. Yeah, you're not on the right path.
You think it's still like that?
I think so. I think things are evolving. There's a lot of contemporary art schools. The gaming industry and the film industry is booming, so it's inevitable that the art market is going to change. I hope it doesn't change dramatically, because it's no good for anyone. But if everything goes well, there will be a place for modernist artists and conceptual and abstract, and then there will be a place for figurative, realist, and illustration, and we can all be happy together. Absolutely. So these are sketches for a public sculpture I'm doing. It's actually my first, so from a Portuguese writer, Aquilino Ribeiro. Yeah. So it's just tasks of trying to find faces from memory. Here also, studying some eyes, figures from memory. Yeah, faces are the hardest thing always. Well, and nature also. This is a study for a drawing that I finished, and I ended up not liking it, so I never showed it, which is unfortunate, because there's so much money involved on paying the models and everything. That's the problem of working with models. Yeah, it's super. If everything was from memory, it would be so much cheaper. Yeah. Okay. It's great. Working from life is amazing. It's really good. It gives lots of opportunities. It just adds up a lot to the work, but then it's so freaking expensive, and there's limitations, because the model can't fly or cannot stand in a difficult pose for a long time. Again, still the planning of the same show. So this is going to be the main body of work. This is the main figure, and 6 figurines around it. And this is still me trying to find the main male character. Yeah, still experimenting different body types, and guys with bellies and muscles are cool. Yeah, this is also from life, from memory. Just trying to convey form and light from memory, which is super difficult. It's really, you can do the basic shapes, but when it gets to small details, it's super difficult. This one I didn't even finish. So these are drawings from the lockdown. My old school, the New York Academy, they offered people a chance to draw portraits from life through Zoom. So they would hire a model in New York, put a camera in front of the model would sit, and people on Zoom everywhere in the world would draw. And yeah, 3 hours a week at least during quarantine, I couldn't get models, so it was actually way cooler than I thought it would be. Yeah, I thought it would be a little weird, but I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I didn't bring a stump or pencils for my quarantine where I was in a village, so I found a pencil, a rough pencil, but it's okay. And for an eraser, I had to use the old school thing. I just bred a little piece of bread that I needed, and yeah. So the village, I went to a village in the Douro Valley, and I took my computer. And I was already fascinated with 3D stuff, and during my quarantine, I was obsessively learning Blender and ZBrush, just working every hour of the day, and I was glad that I was in a quarantine, that I couldn't leave, because otherwise I wouldn't have time to do that. And I was feeling anxious. Oh man, I hope this doesn't end too soon, because I won't be able to learn what I wanted. But now, of course, I don't want the freaking pandemic. So from the same series of portraits on Zoom. This is from the second lockdown that we went back to drawing again from the New York Academy. They were very, very helpful to help keep the practice of drawing. Yeah, just drawings from life. It was cool because all my students, we were on Discord. We have a Discord page, and we were all talking throughout the drawing. So it's like our social activity. Friday nights drawing the model. This is just a new series of drawings, also based on Paleolithic Venuses. So I'm here searching for poses that I can use for drawings. And I think, yeah, this is my final page, and this the drawings I made here on THU, just some fast poses of the models.
And I'm gonna ask you if you can draw something.
Sure.
Here it is. Do you have your tools? I hope so.
I don't. Do you have a ballpoint pen? Yeah, perfect. So, I'll just draw a pose like if I were doing research on my pose. Is that okay? Or
yeah, of
prefer
course.
Something?
Draw whatever you want.
So I just start with a ribcage and pelvis. This is very loose, right? Try to get the center line so that I can see where the figure is heading. So I just know where the big shapes are going to be, and I try to relate all the big shapes to one another.
You have a band, right?
I do, yeah.
As you said.
We do have a band, and now with technology, it's incredible. Now we rehearse online. We use software to compose, but it's just hard. You got to choose your battles in life, and then I just can't be everywhere where I want, unfortunately.
You listen a lot to music.
Yeah, I love music. Yeah. While working, yes, but I got to choose the music that I listen to very carefully when I work. If I put something that there's too much energy, it might cause anxiety, especially when I am drawing from life. It has to be super relaxed music. That will be the main thing, yeah. And now I got into podcasts, obsessively almost, so I listen to loads of podcasts right now, yeah. Just a drawing made of, yeah, my concepts of anatomy.
Does it have a belly?
No. This one is a little more fit, yeah.
So you think THU is important for Portugal?
Oh, absolutely. I just hope it keeps growing and getting more attention. And it's important for loads of reasons. Also for me, as coming from the fine arts, it's also important for that. I just think THU might help bridge the gap between fine art and illustration. It also might help bring technical development for everyone, so that illustrators and fine artists may benefit from that. Some of the best artwork I've seen in my life was made by illustrators for a game or a movie, and who cares if it's an illustration? I just look at those images and they're beautiful. They're incredibly powerful. So, yeah, why would there be a gap? And those guys are amazing artists. They're, even here in THU, I've seen such amazing stuff. People drawing in front of me, because right now we're so focused on rendering the figure, constructing everything, doing our proportions right. But then when it comes to multiple figure compositions or just compositions, there's something lacking on the art world, and I think it's everyone knows about it. And my personal opinion is that we should ask illustrators to help us out, yeah. And they definitely can bridge that gap. So let's see where it all goes, yeah. So yeah, this would be kind of a rough sketch of a. Let's give this guy a little hair, yeah. So nothing major, just something that I could use to see what a pose is. I'm not searching for an aesthetical achievement of any kind, just looking for poses, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to sign that, please.
All right.
This is it. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Daniel.
Obrigado.